Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kazuri Alameen. And my word of wisdom for the day is I want to speak about self-discipline. Self-discipline is so very, very vital in our lives. Let me go over the definition of self-discipline, please, ma'am, please, sir. It's the ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weakness. The ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptation to abandon it. Let me say this again. We're talking about self-discipline this morning. The definition. The ability to control one's feelings and overcomes one's weakness. The ability to pursue what one thinks is right, despite temptation to abandon it. Where are you at with that definition this morning, ladies and gentlemen? Where are you at as far as striving to overcome your weakness this morning in your life? We all are striving to get better today than we were yesterday. And where are you at as far as pursuing what one thinks is right, despite temptations to abandon it? If you don't have good self-discipline, it's going to put you on a highway of self-destruction. In layman's terms, Ms. Kazuri's verbiage, the ability to be able to be true to yourself, the ability to do what you say you're going to do, not somebody else, the ability, despite the obstacles, despite the temptations, despite the barriers, I said I was going to do this, I'm going to do this. That takes growth and development. A lot of times our self-discipline is very, very fragile. Then we begin to tell ourselves these rational lies. I said I was going to do this, but I didn't do that. And then we go into the excuse-itis zone. Self-discipline is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen, in our lives. The ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weakness. The ability to do that. The ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptations to abandon it. So I want to encourage you to continue to work on your self-discipline each and every day. That's something that you told yourself you was going to do. I'm talking. That's you talking to you. And any successful person, ladies and gentlemen, if you look, it's real close. They got good self-discipline. Despite temptations to abandon it. A lot of times we get very fragile with our self-discipline and we begin to just not follow through. Follow up and follow through is very, very important in our lives, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to encourage you to continue to birth, I like to say, your self-discipline. That's you saying what you was going to do. That's you saying what you was going to do and then making it happen. So I would encourage you not to never, ever give up on what you say you wanted. But you got to have good self-discipline to be able to do that. And one of the other dynamics, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of times when we don't pursue our self-discipline is because we don't feel worthy enough. And if your self-esteem is fragile, you don't feel worthy enough of success, then you're going to abandon your self-discipline. You're going to go all over the place and yet go nowhere. So I would encourage you to continue to birth your self-discipline. That's you saying what you was going to do. And sticking to it, despite temptations, despite what somebody else say, despite circumstances. I said I'm going to do this, I'm going to read, whatever it is. And I'm going to stick to it. That's you being true to you. But you can't do that if you don't feel worthy enough. So it's important, ladies and gentlemen, to birth your self-discipline daily on purpose. Let me say this again. To birth your self-discipline daily on purpose is so very, very vital in life. And then another thing, ladies and gentlemen, is we're striving to deal with these unique times, I call it right now in our lives, dealing with this virus. A lot of people are losing their self-discipline. There's evidence. We ain't got to worry about no belief. The evidence is here. The evidence is tangible. People are dying. We ain't got, get no more real than that. So some people got very, very fragile self-discipline, like it's not going to happen to me or whatever. That is a very, very limited insight. But it also comes under the umbrella of very, very, very low and no and negative self-discipline. So I would encourage you, increase your self-discipline daily on purpose. It's so very, very vital, ladies and gentlemen. And realistically, it is a matter of life and death. Where is your self-discipline? Only you know that. Peace.